All right, guys, welcome to video number 8 out of 11. And again, we got more solid review because we've been putting in the hard work and taking notes in the previous modules. So essentially, this is just to really drive home the wheel strategy and exactly how I'm going to use it for my trades, right? So as you can see in here, you'll notice that the balance is different just because I deposited money from my crypto sale, or at least a small portion of it. So this number is going to be different. But for Sweetgreen and QXO and Snapchat, those are all stocks I've been running the wheel strategy on, right? So if you look at QXO, for example, this is one that I've just initiated the start of the wheel strategy on, right? So after I've determined my entire thesis on it and why I want to buy it, it's time to execute, right? So I started out by selling. You'll see I'm at a little bit of a loss this far, but a loss is fine because that's just reflecting what the contract price is. I still got an average fill price at 80 cents. That's $80 in my pocket regardless. And I want to buy this stock at $19. Right now it's at 20, right? So it's just because the stock has gone down today, right? Now, I sold this originally when it was a 0.3 delta. So that's the first step of the wheel strategy. I sold a 0.3 delta for about 40 days out, okay? Now, say that I sell an option, I sell it again, right? And eventually I get assigned, right? So now I have 100 QXO shares, right? If I go then to the option chain and I say, okay, another 40 days or 30 days out, right? I would then sell a call for about a 22 and a half. Anything right above 20 but below 25 is where I like to go because then I have more of a chance to holding onto those shares. I would simply sell this option if I had the shares. So it's super basic, right? That's the wheel strategy, right? I mean, you're just using options as a tool to get into the stock and get out of it. And as you can see on, for instance, Sweetgreen, it's at $9 currently, and I want to sell it at $11. So all I'm doing, and you'll see again, it's like a slight profit just because time decay and stuff like that will affect the option. But you can see that the delta's gone down. And I will most likely not be selling these shares at 11, but I still collected the premium of 18 cents, which is actually a really good premium considering the share price is at $9. So if you go $18 divided by the current share price in 100 share increments, if this was to actually calculate, so we'll go equals. Perfect. Yeah, I mean, this is a nice little 2% return in that amount of time, right? And that's actually for, yeah, so the current average credit, I might have filled this option for less than a 20 delta, so that might have been why. But again, if I go into here, I go 24 delta, yeah, so it would more so be like 30 cents right now, so 30 divided by 900 might have been a little bit, yeah. So I mean, it's a 2 to 3% return, right? So that's just essentially the fundamentals of the wheel. We do need to kind of talk about rolling and managing assignment, right? So let's say that Sweetgreen goes in the money at $11, right? Well, here's what I can do about it. Say I am, right, we'll go to the contract C. So I'm a -1, so that's mean I'm short the $11 here. Say this were to go up to $11, right? For sake of example, we can't really visualize it just yet because Sweetgreen is not there. But you can actually buy out the call option that you have and sell a new one for a later date, okay? And I will essentially say I wanted to roll up, I would be getting a credit. So I'm essentially saying, okay, I want to sell this for 50 cents more, which is $50, and I'll be receiving a credit. So it's kind of a win-win. So once Sweetgreen kind of approaches that strike price, I get a little worried because I want to hold on to the shares, right? Because the capital gains is really what is driving your gains in the shares, right? It's not really the premium. The premium is a nice little dividend, if you will, a nice little additional income. But you really want to be holding onto these shares, which is why it's beneficial to roll out of them. And Robinhood actually makes it super easy to roll out of these by actually clicking roll this position. So instead of going into the option chain, it says, okay, you want to buy to close, and let's sell a new one, right? So we'll go out here, we'll sell maybe the 11.5 if we wanted to roll up, or the 12. You'd be getting a net credit, time change of that, continue, and execute that trade. Now, you shouldn't roll an option when you're paying a debit, because that's, instead of taking money off the table, that's putting more money on the table to keep the trade alive. Instead, just get assigned on your option and then run the wheel strategy again. So super simple. And honestly, I don't think we really need to drive that home anymore. So if that all makes sense, we will see you in the next video.